Let me ask you a simple but extremely revealing question. Do you know what level of the rat race you're in today? Most people wake up early, work hard, pay their bills, and repeat this cycle every single month, believing that someday their financial situation will finally improve. But the truth is that many people spend decades running without ever getting anywhere. And the reason may be simpler and more invisible than it seems. This invisible cycle has a very well-known name in the world of finance: the rat race. It happens when someone works only to pay bills, living paycheck to paycheck, without ever managing to build real wealth. Money comes in and quickly has to go out to pay rent, food, transportation, installments, and credit cards. And then the month ends exactly the way it started, waiting for the next paycheck to arrive. The problem is that many people believe the solution is simply earning more money. But in reality, when income increases, expenses usually increase too, and that's exactly how the race continues. At the first level of the rat race is financial survival. Here, a person works mainly to cover basic needs. The money they earn has to pay for food, rent, essential bills, and often accumulated debt. By the end of the month, almost nothing is left. Any unexpected expense can become a major problem. A medical bill, an unexpected repair, or even a few days without working can be enough to throw everything off balance. Millions of people live exactly at this level without realizing they're trapped in this cycle. Many believe the only way out is to work more hours or find a job that pays better. But to start moving beyond this point, there's a simple first step. At the second level of the rat race, things seem a little better. The person earns more money and feels a greater sense of stability. However, they're still completely dependent on their paycheck. Money enters the account and quickly begins to disappear between bills, installments, credit cards, and small daily expenses. By the end of the month, the feeling is always the same. They worked hard, but almost nothing remained. Then there's the third level, which can be even more deceptive. Here comes what many people call financial comfort. The person has a better car, maybe a financed house, can take a few trips, and maintains what appears to be a stable lifestyle. But there's an important detail. A large part of these achievements is tied to loans, long-term installments, and financial commitments that depend entirely on the paycheck continuing to arrive every month. In other words, despite the appearance of success, the person is still stuck in the race. After these levels, something begins to change. At the fourth level of the rat race, a person starts to realize a truth that many ignore for years. Working only for a salary rarely leads to financial freedom. At this point, an important shift in mindset begins. The person starts becoming more interested in financial education, begins paying closer attention to their expenses, and understands that part of their money needs to be directed toward investments, even if it's just a small amount at the beginning. They also start thinking about new ways to generate income, whether through small businesses, additional skills, or opportunities that previously went unnoticed. This is the moment when a person stops running only after money and starts building assets. And then we arrive at the fifth level. Here, investments and assets begin to generate returns. Dividends, yields, or other sources of income start to complement the money coming from work. This doesn't necessarily mean stopping work immediately, but it does mean that for the first time, money begins to work with you. And that shift completely changes the financial game. Even understanding these levels, many people remain trapped in the rat race because of some very common mistakes. The first is spending everything they earn, leaving no room for investing or building reserves. Another mistake is increasing their lifestyle every time their income grows, creating new expenses that seem small at first. There's also the complete dependence on a salary without seeking other sources of income, and perhaps the most silent mistake of all is simply ignoring investments. Over time, these decisions accumulate consequences that keep a person running without truly moving forward.
Now it's worth asking an honest question. After hearing about these levels, which one are you actually in today? Maybe financial survival, maybe stuck depending on a paycheck, or maybe living the illusion of stability. Recognizing this may feel uncomfortable, but it's also the first step toward change. Because the truth is simple. Moving up levels doesn't depend only on earning more money. It depends on starting to make different financial decisions. If this video made you reflect on your financial reality, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, what level of the rat race are you in today? Remember, financial freedom begins the moment you decide to change.